Hi everyone, welcome to the second edition of the Yala Founders Hour, and of course the first one following the recent Yala mainnet launch. So it's a big one today, and there's a lot to discuss. We're thrilled to be joined by the Yala co-founders, Katie and Vicky, as they take us behind the scenes on Yala's journey in both building the liquidity layer for Bitcoin, and as well as unlocking Bitcoin's potential and untapped liquidity across real-world assets, DeFi, and a lot more. So throughout today's session, we'll be unpacking the broader vision for Yala, the unique role of Yala in the Bitcoin and the associated DeFi ecosystems, as well as the innovations that the Yala mainnet has brought to the users. There's of course a lot to discuss under this section, including the real yield RWA marketplace, the Yala DeFi marketplace, as well as a lot of interesting and promising integrations that we will touch on here. So we'll start with a couple questions and then we'll dive into community questions at the end. And yeah, we'll see if we can cover everything in the time slot. So Katie and Vicky, are you ready?
Yes, let's dive in.
Perfect. Let's get straight into it then. So Katie, a quick question for you. Yala launched its mainnet a few weeks ago now. How have the last, I guess, how have the last few weeks been for you? How how's the mainnet launch gone for you, and what kind of gaps, I guess, has the mainnet launch for Yala worked to bridge across the ecosystem?
Yeah, of course. So we have designed our product, and thank you everyone who joined and the ones who participated into our testnet. Yala has been designed according to your ask, channeling the BTC liquidity to sources of yield across DeFi and RWAs. So our main goals for the past few weeks have been to connect and integrate with different protocols. As you mentioned, Casper, before, we have two flagship products. First one is DeFi Marketplace. For this first place is where user can see where the YU is being integrated. So far, we have different pools. So I invite you guys to go to our mainnet and to see what are the pools and the pretty appealing, pretty high APY. And then second place is real yield. So we also are talking with different RWA issuers to make sure that we have a diverse sources of yield for the users. And very interestingly, the real yield breaks down the minimum investment. Just to give you an example, the minimum investment for T-bills, for example, it's 5 million. But with Yala, you would be able to invest with few dollars and get the yield from those RWAs. So our goal is to get to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to invest in the various sources of yield using our YU BTC-backed digital assets.
Okay, awesome. And of course, it's been a very lively last month for Yala with a lot of interesting integrations as well that we'll touch on after this. I want to take it a step back and talk about, I guess, the unique position or the unique sub ecosystem of the industry that Yala is positioned to be in. So of course, there's a lot of talks about, or in this regard, there's a lot of talks about BTC-Fi, whether it's a sustainable vertical, whether it's, yeah, I guess what the future of BTC-Fi looks like. And you shared a very interesting Twitter thread on this a couple of days ago. So I was wondering if you could share your thoughts on, I guess, one, the state of BTC-Fi, as well as whether this is a vertical that you see Yala positioned in.
Yeah. The first impression people got when they look at the BTC-Fi is the performance of the different tokens. So we have to agree that all the performances are pretty bad, including one of the largest restaking protocols. And I think we have to take a step back and to look into from a very helicopter view. So if you take a step back, you can see the native BTC yield and the institutional are very ready to get into this BTC-Fi ecosystem. The only lacking piece is making sure that everyone can get those yields in a safely manner. And then for the founders, I think the duty for founders like us are twofold. First is you have to make sure that you are getting fair deals with your insider investors, but also early contributors, so that there's no dumping pressure to give you a negative point of view from your project. And then second is providing diverse, sustainable sources of yields. All of those are backed by a very strong technical infrastructure. I'll let Vicky to touch on a little bit later. But just to give you a overview, the BTC-Fi has been performing not so good so far, but we can still expect a huge and bright future. The first reason is institutional money is coming in, and second, you have the custody and the decentralized infrastructure that are being built. Project like Yala is one of them, and all of those innovations would get those BTC-Fi to the masses.
Okay, I got it. So I guess to take it a step back, do you see Yala driving innovation across the BTC-Fi ecosystem, or taking, I guess, going a step beyond that?
Yeah, the goal is getting to go the extra mile and making sure that we answer different type of customers' demand. We have different type of products. All of them are tailored to specific needs. So I'm pretty confident that we can cover the majority of the needs.
Exciting. That's what we all want to hear. Okay, let's move on to Vicky. We have a quick question for you, also regarding the Yala Vision and mainnet launch. So of course, Yala launched both on Ethereum and Solana, and Yala is now actively building its ecosystem across Solana alongside key players like Camino and Radium. Can you talk a bit about the multi-chain strategy for Yala, and what's the motivation to pursue this route?
Thank you, Casper, and thank you for everyone joining and spend time with us. This is Vicky, co-founder and CTO for Yala. Casper just asked about our multi-chain strategy. The key here is the multi-chain strategy. We actually is come from how we think Bitcoin participates in DeFi ecosystem, because we see that right now a lot of new ecosystems and new activities comes with Solana. So we're pretty excited with what we can do on Solana. So we actually have invested on Solana. On the other side, like early KT mentioned, institution money coming. So that's will be heavy bet on Ethereum. So that's why we also don't want to miss the opportunity on Ethereum, since we already built everything like on Ethereum, including our CDP, our PSM stability pool. We can do a lot on Ethereum. We already like work with different institution to be able to help Bitcoin holder to earn yield. So that's right now the two chain we are primary invest, and we also connect with different new chains, like particular who are really interested in work on RWA projects. That will be a new direction for us as well. So we're pretty exciting. Come back to the mission is we see that which chain can bring value for Bitcoin holders, that will be where we will go. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, very clear. So yeah, stay tuned, everyone, for further chain announcements in the coming future. And I guess a big key or access point for Solana is the Yala DeFi marketplace, which provides direct access to a number of these exciting integrations, including Camino and Radium, as we just discussed. Can you talk a bit about the DeFi marketplace, what it is and what makes it so special?
Are we talk to me or KT?
Yes, to you. Sorry.
Okay. So I'm super excited for our DeFi marketplace. I wonder if you guys consider it, when you connect a wallet, you actually can see the DeFi marketplace. That's where reflecting our mission is try to bring as much yield opportunity, as many yield opportunity for our YU as a part of our ecosystem. So this marketplace actually represents our the narrative that DeFi is actually can give people more easy access. What I mean is right now, if you look at DeFi, you have to learn a lot about the liquidity pool, about the bridging, about a lot of things to be able to really leverage DeFi protocols to earn yield. So the ambition for that part, we want to user have more smooth experience rather than user manually navigate different protocols. We build abstraction layers to make Bitcoin liquidity programmable across the ecosystems. Right now, we are in the stage 1. We expect when AI can help us more achieve a more like a automation, we actually will bring AI with part of this to help our Bitcoin holders to earn yield with those capability from DeFi powered by AI. I'm super exciting for that.
Yeah, that's very exciting. And I guess we're seeing a lot of traction for it as well. So the users are finding it exciting as well. And again, stay tuned for a lot more integrations to be added to the Yala DeFi marketplace in the coming days and weeks. So Katie, I think we'll move on to you for a couple of questions again. So regarding community engagement and user acquisition for the Yala mainnets. So of course, for the testnet, there was a very extensive berry campaign, which was very successful. What kind of initiatives and incentives are you seeing for the users here in the post-mainnet world? Are there similar strategies for engaging users and rewarding users?
Yeah, thank you for the question. This is a recurrent question that I got pretty often when we chat online or offline events. For the past 6 months of testnet, we have very strong data points, and we do believe that we have built a strong product. But now we want you, community and users, to prove we are wrong and making sure you can break it. In other words, what we are expecting you, I know you're participating into testnet that costs you time. Now on mainnet, that may cost you a little bit more time and real money. But there's no minimum engagement. What we want from you is trying to test in the same way the product I just did. So adding liquidity, for example, if you wanted to swap, there's different avenues to swap. If you want to bridge or stake your YU on our stability pool, all of those actions are possible. I think we have different tutorials on our social media accounts. And if you have any questions, we can still answer your questions in Telegram, Discord, or any other avenues. So the way to be rewarded, I think, is the same. If you test the product, if you give us feedback, and we'll give you the time and reward you according to your contribution. One thing to highlight is, given the strong interest from our investors and early adopters, we have set some caps. So the first cap was filled once we launched. We have a second cap that is going to be announced. So we have a teaser, but it is by the end of this week. Roughly to give you the volume, it's 50 million of YU. So if you have time, just bridge once or twice just to test and to see how it works. All of those would be rewarded, and we'll go to TG pretty soon. So just encourage everyone to spend some time and test it out.
Okay, exciting. And yeah, of course, we have the Cap 2 announcement to be made in the very near future. So stay tuned for that. But I hope that also answers the when TGE question that we get bombarded with. So you have a slight teaser for that as well. Katie, let's move on to
Yep.
to look a bit at RWAs and the real world asset strategy for Yala, including Yala Real Yield.
Yep.
So Yala recently unveiled the RWA marketplace.
Mhm.
Can you introduce this? Talk to us about, I guess, the core features and how you see the yield generation process work here.
Yep. Yeah, of course. So the first part on the core features, our task is to get you the best avenues to earn yields. The yields comes with different types of API and risk. So if you go to our mainnet, you can see a real yield section. And once you click on the real yield section, we have listed few of the integrated RWAs. For example, you have the public credits, T-bills, treasury from the US, you have private credits, and more to come. And the way it works is the following. You stake BTC to get YU, or you just exchange using USDC to get our YU. And then you can just stake the YU into our pools. Behind the scenes, we will bridge your liquidity to the platform that are contributing to those tokenized real-world assets. And depending on the type of assets, if it is a T-bill, then redemption is daily. So you got a reward daily. For private credit, it could be quarterly, be annually. So depending on the risk and the time, but everything would be distributed fairly and timely to your account. So this is just a way to give you the opportunity to get access to a very inner circle, because RWAs are usually for high net worth individuals or corporations. But now as a retail user, you can still access those yields.
Okay, exciting. When can users expect to be able to access these yields? Is this something that's going live in the near future, or?
Yeah, so the first tranche has been a very high demand. So the first tranche is already full. We're planning to open another tranche once we have enough demand from the retail and enough allocation from the private credits. So the way it works is the private credit firms will issue a tranche, for example, 200 million, and out of the 200 million it is first come first served basis. So we have to be quick. And you guys need also to express that need so that we can collect your need, pull everything, and send the liquidity to them.
Okay, that makes sense. Try to rally some community excitement for this and showcase the private credit firms that we need to get this going. So Vicky, on to you. Focused on RWAs again, or still. Bridging Bitcoin to RWAs sounds quite challenging. Can you talk a bit about the, I guess, the challenges for setting up the Yala Real Yield marketplace and yeah, how this works on the mainnet?
Yeah, so we actually managing those risks by try to be separate each step, like in the whole process. If you think about it, right? We have the bridge to help user bridge Bitcoin to Ethereum or other chain. So that part is totally separate from the RWA protocol on Ethereum, because we see that Bitcoin, the settlement time, and also the limited programmer capability. That's where we spend a quite amount of time to design our custodial solution under the bridge. Luckily, we solve those all in our testnet. I really appreciate everyone participating and give us feedback. So when you come to Ethereum or other EVM or Solana chain, you actually have the certification as a YBTC to allow you to use as representing our Bitcoin in Ethereum more peacefully. So in that way, you like custodial them, then bring the YU there. That's another layer we bring, because if you only have Bitcoin, you cannot directly invest in RWA, because that's no RWA project except Bitcoin. That comes our mission. It's when you have the liquidity come from Bitcoin, using a stablecoin as a vehicle, it will be the most efficient way to allow everyone to unlock the Bitcoin potentials. That's where the YU come to place. We use the over collateral mechanism because Bitcoin price keep changing. Then in that layer, we're managing the risk by we have a risk distribution systems named SmartVault to help make sure our vault is always managing without like a get a user liquidated. That's will be a big no-no for our users experience. Then that's the third layer we are thinking about. After that, you get YU to invest in RWA. That's where right now a lot of settlement still comes with USDC. Eventually, you have to swap to USDC to get the RWA. That's right now the RWA project accept, but we are working harder towards. We want to more and more RWA project can directly accept YU to help this like more smooth experience for our users. That's will be the goal. You will see eventually once you like mint YU, then you can directly deposit YU to all sorts of other project and see the yield, and also have the quicker redemption path. That's right now we're working on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, so there's a lot, and of course we'll be sharing more tech updates in the near future as well. So stay tuned for these if you have any questions, and of course always stop by the Telegram as well if there's anything you're curious about. So we're approaching the end already, sadly. So we'll go to two forward-looking questions, dive into some quick community questions, and then slowly wrap it up to give everyone some time back. So looking forward, first for KT. Yala positions itself as a liquidity layer for Bitcoin. What does this mean for the rest of 2025? What can users expect to see for the evolution of Yala?
Yeah, Vicky touched on a little bit. So the first point is making sure we have a very diverse sources of yield, and we will leverage the machine learning to make sure that everyone with a very simple instruction comes to Yala and will help them to get the best yield. So you can imagine a world where you come with, for example, $5 or $10 worth of stablecoin, and you ask us to get you 10-15% yields. Then the platform that is being built will help you to give every sources of yield that match your request, and will also send you the risk profile for every different types of sources. So that would be very simplified. That would be a very simplified version of the current light mode that we have, and it's TBD to be launched. Second point is really about not losing money, and by not losing money is not being liquidated, and also having a very strong infrastructure to be protected against hacks or thieves. We have a vault called SmartVault. So this SmartVault is enabling people to borrow this YU, and while having exposure to BTC and not being liquidated. So those two are currently being implemented, and we're making sure we have different iterations to improve. So if you have any suggestions, or if you have new demands, I'm sure Vicky would be very happy to listen and to update the product.
Okay, awesome, very exciting. And Vicky, there's a promise from KT there. So.
Yeah.
And to and to extend the same question to you, Vicky, how do you see the evolution of Yala for the next year? What are you most excited about working on?
Oh, is it the last question, or we still have more questions?
We have a few community questions after this,
Okay.
if there's time.
Yeah, I most exciting, I think that we will bet our multi-chain strategy, and also have more AI evolve to help us on user experience side to help find a quick yield and also smooth yield for our BTC holder. And the particular I'm thinking is on the Solana chain. We expect more and more will coming. Yeah, that's super exciting. I don't want to share too much. I think we are well, product talks more than what I can say.
That's true. Okay, we'll leave the product to speak for itself. And then we'll dive into a few quick community questions, and then we'll wrap it up to give you your time back. So Katie, first regarding the from Sephora Solstice regarding the U token ecosystem. What are the plans for growing the token system over time, both in terms of integrations and incentives, and yeah, what is the plan for growing the U token ecosystem?
Yeah. Thank you, Zephyra Soltis. The goal is really creating a virtuous circle. And this virtuous circle is adding liquidity to ecosystems that are already live and pretty active, and also to DeFi protocols that have a high demand and real use case. The way it works is we'll help to get more liquidity onto those platforms. And thanks to the deeper pools they have, they will be able to provide better user experience. And also people will be able to swap with lower slippage. So this is a win-win situation that would attract more users. More users equals more revenue for the protocol, and then more improvements. So this is something we wanted to boost. We started with ETH and Solana, and we'll do the same with any other chains that make sense and have a strong community behind it.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. And a follow-up question here is, with MetaMint now turning Bitcoin into a stable coin of sorts and offering real yield on this, how does Yala work to manage Bitcoin's volatility and the liquidation risk that this brings with it?
Yeah, great question. So we have three type of products. We have the light mode. This is the light mode and the institution mode. Both modes doesn't have any liquidation risk. We are, as a platform, bearing all the risk. And on the pro mode side, on the other hand, you have the potentially situation where your position would be liquidated. So as Vicky mentioned, we are a over-collateralized lending protocol. So when you are borrowing the stablecoin, you have to set a LTV ratio that is safe enough so that you can be immune to those high price volatility. I think the way to set the LTV is to see maybe from a macro trend, what are potentially the Bitcoin price drop that would affect, and what is the minimum price you can accept before being liquidated. So with those two information in your hand, then you can set your LTV. The product is pretty intuitive. It's like a cursor where you just pick the LTV ratio, and with that you should be safe for your short-term or long-term trades.
Okay, got it. I hope that's clear for the community member that asked this question. And if not, of course, ask us on Telegram and we'll follow up here. And Vicky, we have a last question for you. You touched on it briefly before, but can you touch a bit on the Yala multi-chain strategy? How this works whilst like how this kind of seamless expansion works whilst maintaining both performance and security for the users, as well as what chain, if you can tease this, could we potentially see Yala on next? And of course, no spoilers here.
Casper asked about our multi-chain strategy, and can you repeat the second part?
Yeah, as extension of the multi-chain strategy, if we can expect to see Yala on more chains in the future, and if you can tease on which chain this could be.
We are right now have multi-chain roadmap. If you ask which chain will be the next, I don't know, Katie, how much we can disclose.
I think we'll keep it secret for now.
It would be an EVM compatible chain.
Got it. That's all you get for now.
Yeah, but overall, when we launch a new chain, we care a lot about security, because it's part of ecosystem for Yala, and also as a new chain, you definitely have we're embracing new things. So each chain will operate independently with the chain-specific risk parameters, while our system maintains cohesive through the shared incentives. So that will create a good amount of like a diversify yield for user, but also make sure we have the right security holding us accountable for those.
Got it. Yeah, that's very clear. I think with that question, we've reached the end here. So KT and Vicky, I'd like to thank you for your time in answering these questions. Yeah, again, see if you have any final remarks or anything to slightly announce, or if we shall wrap it up.
I can do first. I really appreciate everyone joining. I really enjoy the conversation, and also it's fun to like share what we're doing with the community. And Casper, we should do more. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep, echo what Vicky just said. We are pretty excited to have different caps being announced, so that shows very strong demand side. So we are looking forward to getting your attention and also getting you to test our product. Thanks again for tuning in today, and our DMs are open if you have any questions.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, guys. And as always, thanks a lot for listening and spending the last 30 minutes with us. As Vicky said, we'll make this a routine thing and catch you up on all future product launches, integrations, chain expansions, and more. And as always, you can find the full interview or the full conversation on YouTube and Twitter in the coming days. So stay tuned for that if you missed anything or want to catch up on any parts. So thanks again, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.